Alright folks, welcome back to another video. Glad to see you here for another one. I do apologize for this taking so long. If you guys watched the other video, a lot of stuff's been happening lately. Had some family stuff going on and some job changes, so sorry this has been a bit delayed. Just been moving around a lot, going through the motions, but I had this ready, getting out a video for you guys, because I always try to put you guys first. Obviously, realistically, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to go too crazy and freaking, well, I just went homeless, but here's a new YouTube video for you guys. I really am glad to get this video out. I just want to apologize. I'm sorry that it has taken some time to get it out, but here it is. I know this video is going to be another series that we're starting, which this specific one is going to be called the War Thunder's Beginner Guide for if you should play ground arcade or ground realistic when you first get into the game. Because I get that question a lot when I'm streaming, people asking which mode they should start out if they just now got the game. So we're going to go through each mode on their own videos, so I don't just have a 3-hour video. So this one's going to touch base on ground arcade versus ground realistic and which one you should play. Hope you guys are excited. Let's get to it. Alright, so I know the first thing that I want to talk about in regards to ground arcade battles, it's simply just undeniably more, for lack of better terms, newcomer friendly. If you've never played the game before, it's obviously the one you should start in because it's like a, for lack of better terms, like a tutorial, maybe? I mean, there actually is tutorials you can play in the game, but this one is a really good way to, I don't even want to say unranked, because usually the only people that you find playing that are really new to the game. I don't think there's anyone that's like, I prefer arcade, for reasons we'll discuss later. But one of the first things I think in regards to why you should start with a ground arcade if you're new to the game is that it just simply offers more simplified gameplay mechanics. So it offers aiming assistance. It kind of makes your tanks more arcadey. It's in the name. Makes you faster, your turrets faster. It makes it easier for you to learn generally how most vehicles will work in regards to your tanks, how the armor works, how the gun works, where you should shoot, things like that. It also shows you where you need to shoot at on tanks, so that way you can see it'll have a crosshair, and if it's green, that means you can shoot it and pen it. If it's yellow, it's like, I don't know, man, you might. And if it's red, it's like, okay, you're not gonna do anything here, so don't shoot it. So it really helps you learn the way things work, like shooting tanks, getting your crew back. Repairing can be done anywhere, but you also get like your smokes back, even if you're not on a point, and you can also replenish your crew back if you're not on a point. So it really just kind of not condenses, but it simplifies everything, so that way you can start thinking, okay, this is how this works, this is how this works. Really just makes it really easy for new players to understand what they need to be paying attention to and how to operate the game. Now, the second thing is, with arcade, it's usually faster paced and the matches are a lot shorter. The reason being is because they're more action-packed, because you're faster, you can see more people on the map, you know where to go, where not to go, so you're really just driving around quickly, like shooting people, learning. You can also have more kind of tank battles in regards to you shoot someone, they don't pen you, you shoot like back and forth, and you're not penning each other because you really don't know what you're doing. So you're trying to figure out what's going on. I think of arcade like Little League football. You just see them bouncing off of each other because they don't really know what they're doing. They're just kind of running around. That's kind of what happens in this. So people are usually just holding W, driving around quickly, shooting at things, not penning them, getting confused. But it's really good to learn. You can grind a good bit by understanding what vehicles do what. So you're not going to sit there for like a 30-minute match, because most games don't last that long, because again, everyone's just driving around. Oh, there's a red dot here, we're all going there to kill that guy. So you don't have to worry about sitting in there for, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes would be quite a average game in arcade, because again, it's just point click, drive around, pretty easy. But since you're newer, again, there's gonna be a lot more times where you sit there and you and one other person are just shooting each other over and over again, like, why are you not dying? I'm shooting you. Your tank is being shot. Tanks don't work like people, guys. When you shoot a tank, just because you shoot him doesn't mean he's gonna take damage. You gotta make sure you shoot the right spot. So being faster paced and shorter matches makes it a lot easier to digest rather than being in a game for like 30 minutes. Also in ground arcade, you can have multiple spawns. I know you can also have that in realistic, but what I mean in arcade is that there's no spawn point system at all. So you can spawn in the same class of tanks multiple times, and you don't have to worry about spawn points. So you will guaranteed get 3 vehicle spawns every single match. You don't have to worry about getting kills. If you spawn in twice and don't get a single kill, you can still spawn in another vehicle and try to go get more kills. So it lets you try out different things, your lineup, so that way you can figure out, okay, I like tank destroyers, I don't like tank destroyers, I like heavy tanks, don't like light tanks. That way you don't have to worry about, bro, I just died, now I can't even play this class of vehicle because I don't have the spawn points for it. So it's a lot more lenient in regards to letting you kind of feel the game, rather than, again, you die one time and it's like, oh, sorry, you're poor, no spawn points, you don't get to play the game now. You don't have to just get banished to play AA. You can get 3 guaranteed spawns every single match, which is really good for new players, so that way they don't get discouraged like, well, I'm already dead, now I can't play and gotta get into another match. Because getting in and out of matches can be really discouraging if you're not having a good day, especially if you just got the game. Now, the fourth thing that is really good for new players, especially for arcade, is that the spotting system is completely different. So it usually marks most players on the map. You can just freaking, I think if someone sees them, then it marks them on the map for everyone, which shows on the mini map, and it'll show on your screen like their name. I think it shows the vehicle type as well, and they're like a little image, so that way you can know, okay, there's a thing here. It's really good for new players, so that way you can kind of have an idea of how map flow works. It is a little bit different because it's arcade, so it's going to be played a little bit different. You get a general idea of like, okay, so when people are on this side of the map, they're generally going to kind of flank here or push up through these choke points. That way, over time, it'll become second nature for you to know, okay, I got to look here. Tanks usually hang around this area. Okay, someone may be flanking around the backside here, because everything's marked. So it's not, it's like, think about playing UAV in Call of Duty in a custom lobby with it on constant. So it marks everyone, or you have like an orbital VSAT up in a freaking, like a live game. They're always marked, so it really helps you know where players are. That way you can track them and understand the flow of battle over time. Okay, so the fifth thing that I want to talk about in regards to ground is that it's ground arcade, excuse me, is that it's usually more beginner friendly for the matchmaking. You usually don't have to sit there and wait that long either, but it's more lenient in regards to you can get comfortable with the game, with the controls, how the maps flow, how the combat flows, and you can usually run into like a variety of tanks. So you could be in Germany facing German vehicles, which is good in a sense because you can figure out kind of the weak spots of it. But again, you're not going to be fighting a Tiger 2 in a Tiger 2. I mean, you could be, because again, great matchmaking with mixed battles in realistic, but in arcade, you usually get a really good overview of what vehicles you'll be facing, where to shoot them, where not to shoot them, and it's not that big of a deal. Once you die, you're guaranteed more spawns, so it's not really that bad, but it's really rewarding for new players to get comfortable with the game and understand how it works, so that way you're not just getting thrown in the deep end when you want to play later. I do think that it is overall the better mode to start in. That's just me though. I mean, it's to each their own, but I think it's more beginner friendly with the matchmaking, how quick it is, and the way you can learn and absorb information and knowledge rather than going straight into realistic off the jump. I'm gonna put a little bonus tip right here. I had 5 for each, but I have a little bonus tip. Another great thing about arcade is that you don't have to worry about getting bungused by a freaking plane every 3 seconds, because in arcade you have to get a certain amount of kills to spawn in like a bomber, an attacker, or a fighter, and when it happens it gives you a countdown so you know an air battle's about to happen, so you have to look out for planes. It also does mark them for you, but you don't have to worry about, okay, I got my little AEA, I got my little tank, I can't wait to play my tank game, and then 5 billion planes rain down 5 billion pounds of bombs on your face. So it's really good in that aspect, because that is one thing I will say that I love about arcade, is that it really is not, I love CAS, but it can be a little bit much sometimes. So it's good in arcade that you don't have to worry about that off rip. It does kind of suck when you play realistic, because you're probably not expecting to get bungus as bad as you are about to get bungus by the freaking CAS. It's really good that CAS is limited in regards to how many planes can be spawned in at one time, how often they can be spawned in, and things like that. So that's a really good thing that I love about ground arcade. Now, the reasons I'll go ahead and say first off rip for ground realistic is that as a beginner, it just offers you more authentic and tactical gameplay. If you're a type of person that you just want to go straight into the deep end, you don't know how to swim, this is how you would do it. Just go straight into it, because it has more realistic feel to it, not only in regards to how the tanks play, because they're not just zooming around like RC cars. It really helps you because you're gonna know how people are gonna be playing in regards to angling, you're gonna know positioning, you're gonna know you have to do manual range finding. I mean, it's just completely more realistic, so that way you don't have to worry about going to arcade and then kind of learning a decent amount of new things going from arcade to realistic. While you can learn a decent amount playing arcade, how arcade and realistic play are completely different, because arcade is like maybe 25% of it, and then realistic is a whole different thing by how people play, how vehicles operate, how guns operate. So it can definitely be a bit rough if you just jump straight into it, but if you want to just get right to it and just freaking go, I mean, that's what you're gonna do. You might get bungus a little bit, but it's simply more authentic and more realistic and tactical gameplay, because it's the realistic game mode, so you don't have to worry about driving around like RC cars and people knowing where to shoot you at on your vehicle, like have little crosshair and things like that, or automatic range finding. Unless you have a laser rangefinder, then that tells you. But you get my point. Now, another thing that I would say in regards to realistic, off rip, you get more RP and more SLs, period. You get more rewards generally for doing good in a match. You get more of a reward cap, if that makes sense, or like per kill you get more, or over time you get more, because it takes more skill, quote unquote, to play that. So if you want to like grind, especially if you're new to the game, playing realistic is just simply better. You get more things for doing anything, helping people repair, helping people get scouted, or whatever it may be, you get more. So say in arcade you get 1 RP per kill and 1 SL. Realistic, you get like 3 to 5. So it just, I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but you definitely get more. So if you are focused on grinding, if you're focused on making bank, realistic is definitely the way to go if you want to do that. Now, if you don't do good in realistic, obviously if you do better in arcade, you're going to make more quote unquote there because you consistently can do better there. If you can get good at being good in realistic, you'll make infinitely, exponentially way more dollars. So sometimes you just got to kind of throw yourself in the deep end, get good at it so that way you can make more bank in the end. That's just me though. Now, the third thing about realistic is that it helps you with situational awareness, because with no spotting system, you are literally forced to develop not only map knowledge, but awareness. It helps you kind of get that core skill of having situational awareness, because I'm telling you, the amount of times you will see players where their teammate gets shot right next to them and they don't even pay attention. They don't even bat an eye. They don't even know. I've got an ammo rack directly next to a teammate and he looks the opposite direction, bro. Opposite direction when the guy's clearly flanking us from behind, and it's insane. So I'm telling you, it may suck at first because you're like, what? How was I supposed to know he was there? The more you play, the more you will understand, and you will get more second nature in regards to, hey, I usually get peeped from this corner, so let me go ahead and pay attention to that. It really, really helps because you don't have as much leniency as you do in arcade, so dying in realistic is a lot more detrimental than it is in arcade. Because sometimes when you die in realistic, oh, you don't have spawn points to play that, so now you literally cannot play that unless you do good in the match and get your spawn points back. So really good in regards to helping you get that skill. It just kind of is a bit rough learning it at first because it's like, bro, I just died again. So it just takes some time, but it really helps you get really, really good situational awareness by playing realistic. Now, this one is a bit, I know it's gonna be controversial, and I know I'm gonna see comments. You're wrong, stupid, dislike. You should, and normally you should have better team coordination in realistic because you're gonna be playing with the better players. I'm air quoting. You should be able to hear me air quoting, but I'm air quoting right now because they're supposed to be better. But anyone that plays this game can tell you, you're always gonna find people that suck. Doesn't matter what mode you're playing, doesn't matter what BR you're playing, you're always gonna find people that suck. But it should be, as the harder modes you play, the better players you find. That's how it should work, but trust me, it's not always the case. Usually in realistic, things like tactics and positioning matter a lot more in regards to marking enemies, making sure your CAS planes are free to kind of roam around. You know, like you have air control in regards to no spa that are up, no enemy planes, things like that, because that will be way more detrimental in a realistic match than it will in arcade, because again, arcade is just driving around goo goo gaga, shooting stuff, kind of hanging out, which is not knocking people that want to play that. In realistic, those things matter a lot more, and team coordination matters a lot more than it does in realistic, or in arcade, excuse me. 100% it matters more in realistic, because it's more, there's more at stake, and again, you're playing with the better players. This one will be a bit rough, but it's true. For the last thing I want to say in regards to realistic is that it just straight up throws you in the deep end with tanks and planes. Now you have that in arcade, but you cannot choose the planes that spawn in. You can choose like the class, like fighter, attacker, or bomber. But in realistic, you can bring anything you want. You can spawn it in as soon as you want. You can have 1 billion bombs on your plane. You can have freaking literally anything. You can make everything up. And you can bring different classes of planes, so you can choose if you want this bomber, if you want this attacker, if you want this fighter. You can choose which ones you want. They have their own ordinance. In arcade, you cannot. You can only choose, oh, I want to spawn in a bomber class. And it's like, all right, here you go. Luck of the draw. But realistic, you can choose, and it really throws you deep in with how it's going to be in realistic, because there's games where you have no spa up or no anti-cast, and you will 100% lose the match if you do not have air control, because your team will continuously die from getting cast, from getting just someone flies a plane into you and blows you up. I mean, I'm telling you, it's so stressful and so annoying. That shows you how it's going to be, so you can kind of learn better on what vehicles maybe you want to bring into a match, whether that be spa or anti-cast. It really shows you how mixed battles work in regards to tanks and planes being in the match as soon as they want to be. That way you understand the dynamics of having ground control, having air control, having anti-cast up, having anti-air up, things like that. So it really helps you learn. It's just, man, it may make you want to do some things. And trust me, I'm saying things. It'll make you want to do them. You probably will do them. I'll go ahead and throw in a bonus tip as well for realistic over how it would be for arcade. For realistic, you can really find a lot more players that kind of know what they're doing, because realistic is like the middle ground on what most people play. Arcade is for the newcomers. Realistic is kind of where the normal people just hang out, like people that have been playing for a while, or the upper echelon players. Sim is like upper tier things for people that play it, but Most people hang out around realistic, so it's a great place for you to meet other players, maybe make some friends and ask, hey man, I'm new to the game. Does anyone have maybe a clan I can join? Or does anyone have maybe a Discord? Or does anyone want to, you know, maybe hang out with me and teach me some things about the game? Now, some people may say racial slurs. Some people may tell you to do things. Don't worry about it. That is part of the game. Most games have that, but this game is pretty bad with people doing that, because I've seen people like, hey man, what does this plane do? N-word. And then she's like, all right, so we're just ruining the game. But it is a really good way for you to learn how the game works by asking other people, hey, what's going on? Because there's some people that have really good advice, and some people, I've seen people like sit there and have a whole back and forth conversation for the entire match about why this plane is good, why this round is good, why this tank is good, and they help new people. So it is a 50-50 though. You probably either will get someone that's racist or someone that's gonna really help you. So you kind of just gotta roll with the punches on that one. Now I wanna go ahead and just have like an overview of both modes, so that way you guys know what I would say kinda is a summary of each thing. For arcade, that's really for fast learning, just having some fun and really forgiving gameplay in regards to if you mess up and practicing mechanics. It's really where the newcomer should be going. That's where I started out myself. You can ask anyone. I played air arcade, ground arcade, and all that for the longest amount of time because it's a great way to learn. Most people that play that aren't like super good players. Unfortunately, I played it just to record this video and I felt kind of bad because I'm like, I know where to shoot most of these things and I really destroyed the enemy team, so I felt really bad. I don't think I'm good because it's, again, a place where newer players are going to be hanging out, or people that don't really know so much about the game. So it's really good if that's what you're trying to do, is just learn more about anything. Even if like at the lower BRs you played realistic and you got some new vehicles, you can take into arcade to really learn the vehicle and how it operates. But realistic is more for tactical depth, realism, and long-term growth in regards to what you earn RP and SL wise. And if you just want a more realistic, you know, if you just want a more realistic approach to War Thunder, it's obviously where you want to be at because it's realistic. So while both modes have their own thing you can do, for me, I would say if you are new to the game, just start in arcade for a little bit, play it a little bit. That way you can learn how the game operates. And then when you feel like you're ready, go to realistic, because that's what I did. But if you want to go into realistic off rip, go ahead, man. Just throw yourself in the deep end and get freaking right. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just each mode has their own thing. I would say start in arcade, but it's to each their own. Whatever makes you happy and whatever you feel like you're better at, because you know yourself more than me, that's what you should definitely do. All right, so we have made it to the end of this video. I do hope that this found you guys well. I hope this helps you guys, because again, I get this question a lot where should I start at? I just got this game. What do I do? I'm gonna have a video for each one. Again, not Naval. Naval's just, we're just gonna, y'all know that Family Guy meme where it's like, no, not you. That's what we're doing with Naval right now. We'll have one with air and ground. So the next one may be air in regards to, not linearly, like the next immediate video may not be that, but the next game mode that we have in regards to this series, this video style, will be air, and we'll talk about that, because I do think I get that question so often that I want to just put this out there so that way you guys can look at it. Maybe if you want to get a friend into the game, you can send it to them, or if anyone looks it up, they can find it as well. So I hope this helped you. If there's anything further you guys, as usual, think that I left out, put it in the comments down below, because I'd love to have you guys, as you guys always do, you know, discuss stuff in the comments, because I see people that someone else leaves a comment and then a few weeks later someone else will tag onto their comment, and then, you know, just kind of snowballs down from there. So helping people and getting people in this game that we all suffer in is amazing, and I love that you guys look out for other players in the community and drop some tips down there. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope y'all have a blessed one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We're close to 1,000 subs. Can't wait to make it. But without further ado, we'll get out of y'all's hair. Hope you have a blessed one. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.